your hydrangea gives you a big, healthy, beautiful green bush every single year and almost no flowers, I want to tell you something before we go one step further. It is not you. You are not a bad gardener. You did not do something wrong that you should have somehow known better about. A hydrangea that will not bloom is one of the most common heartbreaks in all of gardening, and it is almost always down to one of a small handful of very specific reasons. And every single one of them is fixable once you know what you are looking at. I have been growing these plants for over 25 years, and I have stood exactly where you are standing, looking at a gorgeous leafy shrub in July with not a flower on it, feeling like it was mocking me. So I am going to walk you through every reason a hydrangea refuses to bloom, one at a time, and exactly how to fix each one. And then at the end, I am going to show you how to go past just fixing it, and actually get twice the flowers you have ever had off that plant. That part is real, and it is simpler than you think. Now stay with me. Because the single most common reason of all, the one that catches more good gardeners than anything else, is a pruning mistake. And it is so easy to make that you may have made it this very spring without knowing. I will show you exactly how to never make it again. And there is one thing almost everybody believes about hydrangeas that is completely wrong. A myth I need to clear up before you waste one more dollar on it. Before we start, do me a favor and drop your growing zone or your state down in the comments, because winter cold is a big part of this story and I like to know where you are all gardening. All right, let us find out what is going on with your hydrangea. Reason number 1, it is sitting in too much shade. Let us start with the simplest one, because for a lot of you this is the whole answer. People think of hydrangeas as shade plants. They are not really. They are part shade plants, and there is a world of difference. A hydrangea wants a good few hours of sun to have the energy to make flowers. The sweet spot for most of them is morning sun and afternoon shade. 3, 4, even up to 6 hours of gentle, direct light, ideally early in the day when the sun is kind, with protection from the harsh afternoon blast. What a hydrangea cannot do is bloom well in deep, all-day shade. Tucked under a big tree, jammed against the north wall of the house where the sun never reaches, it will grow perfectly nice leaves and simply never gather the energy to flower. It is not sulking, it just does not have the fuel. So the first thing to do is go and look honestly at how much real sun your plant gets. If the answer is almost none, that is very likely your problem right there. You can either move it, and I will tell you the right time to do that, or you can sometimes open things up by thinning a branch or two above it to let more light down. Give it that morning sun, and very often the flowers come back all on their own. And here is when to move it, because timing matters. Not in summer, never in the heat, while it is in full leaf and working hard. You move a hydrangea when it is asleep, in late fall after the leaves have dropped, or in very early spring before it wakes up, while it is dormant and will barely notice the disturbance. Dig it wide, keep as much root as you can, water it in well at the new spot, and it will settle in and reward you the following season. Reason number 2, you are feeding it too much nitrogen. Here is one that stings because it happens to the gardeners who are trying the hardest. You want a big, healthy, happy plant, so you feed it. And you feed it a general all-purpose plant food. Or worse, it is sitting near a lawn that you feed, and all that lawn fertilizer is soaking over to its roots. And what you get is a monster. A huge, lush, deep green hydrangea with leaves like dinner plates. And no flowers. The culprit is one word: nitrogen. Nitrogen is the leaf and green growth engine, and it is the first of the 3 numbers on any bag of fertilizer. A lawn food is loaded with it because you want a lush green lawn. But when a hydrangea gets a big dose of nitrogen, it does exactly what you accidentally told it to do. It makes leaves. Glorious leaves. And it puts nothing into flowers because you never asked it for flowers. The fix is to change what you are feeding it. You want a fertilizer that is lower in that first number, the nitrogen, and higher in the middle number, the phosphorus, because phosphorus is what drives flower and bud development. Something sold as a bloom booster or a rose and flower food is exactly right. Here's the easy way to read the bag. 3 numbers. The first is nitrogen, the leaf maker. You want that one low. The middle number is phosphorus, the flower maker. You want that one higher. Get a bag where the middle number beats the first, and you are holding the right food. Feed it lightly in the early spring and again around the middle of summer, and then stop. And if your hydrangea is planted right at the edge of a fed lawn, put a little barrier of space between them or ease off the lawn feed near that bed. Take away the flood of nitrogen, and the plant can finally get back to the business of blooming. Reason number 3, and this is the big one. You are pruning it at the wrong time and cutting off the flowers. Here it is. The reason I told you to wait for. If your hydrangea is healthy, gets decent light, and still gives you no flowers year after year, There is a very good chance this is why, and I promise you, it is the single most common hydrangea heartbreak there is, so let me make this so clear that you never get it wrong again. Wrong month, wrong cut. A whole year with no flowers. That is how it happens, and it happens quietly. Here's the thing nobody explains when they sell you the plant. Different hydrangeas make their flower buds at completely different times of year, and if you cut at the wrong moment, you are literally snipping off next summer's flowers with your own hands and then wondering why it will not bloom. Some hydrangeas bloom on what we call old wood. That means they make their flower buds in late summer and fall on the stems that are already there, and those little buds sit on the plant all winter waiting to open the following year. The big round mophead types, the classic blue and pink ones, the oak leaf types with the beautiful leaves and the lace caps, most of these bloom on old wood. Now picture what happens. It is fall or it is early spring, and you are tidying up, and you go out and give that plant a good hard prune to neaten it. And you have just cut off every single flower bud it made last year. The plant is fine, it grows back leafy and green, but it cannot bloom because you removed the blooms before they ever opened, and you had no way of knowing. Other hydrangeas bloom on new wood. These make their flower buds in the spring on brand new growth, the same season they bloom. The big cone-shaped panicle types and the smooth types, including that big white one many of you know, bloom on new wood. These you can cut back in late winter or early spring, and they will bloom just fine, because they have not made this year's buds yet. So the whole secret is knowing which kind you have, and here's the simple rule that saves you. If your hydrangea blooms in early summer on rounded flowers, treat it as an old wood type, and prune it only right after it finishes flowering, never in fall, never in spring. If it blooms later on cone-shaped flowers, it is a new wood type, and you can prune it in late winter. And if you have no idea which one you have, then do not prune it at all. I mean it. Just leave it alone. A hydrangea needs almost no pruning to be healthy, and the gardener who never prunes gets far more flowers than the one who prunes at the wrong time. When in doubt, put the shears down and walk away. That one piece of advice alone has rescued more hydrangeas than everything else I know put together. Let me stop here for just a moment because I know some of you are realizing right now that this was your mistake, and you might be feeling a little foolish. Please do not. Nobody told you. This is not common sense. It is not obvious, and half the people pruning hydrangeas wrong were told to do it that way by someone they trusted. There is no shame in not knowing a thing until you learn it. That is what today is for. You are learning it now, and you will never lose a year of flowers to it again. If this is the kind of plain, honest gardening help you have been looking for, take a second and subscribe, because handing you the things nobody bothered to explain is the whole reason this channel exists. Now let us keep going because there are a few more reasons to check. Reason number 4, winter cold or a late frost killed the buds. This one ties right back to the last one, and it is a big deal for those of you in colder places, which is why I asked for your zone. Remember those old wood hydrangeas, the ones carrying their flower buds through the winter on bare stems? Those little buds are tender, and a truly harsh winter, or worse, one of those cruel late frosts in spring that hits after the plant has started to wake up, can kill them stone dead. Here is how you know this is your problem. The plant comes through winter, it leafs out beautifully in spring, everything looks healthy and green, and yet there is not a single flower. That specific picture, healthy leaves and no blooms after a hard winter, is the classic sign that the cold took your buds. If you look closely in early spring at where the buds should be, they may be brown, dry, and shriveled instead of plump and green. There are 2 ways to beat this. The first is protection. If you have a beloved old wood hydrangea in a cold spot, you can wrap it for the winter, building a cage of burlap around it and filling it loosely with leaves after the first hard frost. And you can throw a sheet or a blanket over it on those late spring nights when a surprise frost is coming. The second way is smarter for the long run, and it leads us straight into the good news at the end of this video. You can simply grow the kinds that do not have this problem, the new wood bloomers that make fresh buds every spring, and so cannot have them stolen by winter. Hold that thought, because it is the key to doubling your flowers. Reason number 5, it is thirsty, and drought stress shut it down. The word hydrangea comes from the same root as hydrate, and that is not an accident. This is a plant that loves water, and when it does not get enough, one of the first things it does to survive is give up on flowering. Blooming takes energy and water, and a stressed, dry plant conserves everything it has just to stay alive. If your hydrangea wilts and droops in the heat of the afternoon, if the leaves look tired and the edges go crispy and brown, it is telling you plainly that it is thirsty. And here is something a lot of people do not realize. A bad drought one summer can rob you of flowers the next summer too, because that is when some of them are trying to set their buds. So the stress you see this year can echo into next year. The fix is not complicated. Give it a deep, thorough soak, aiming for something like an inch or two of water a week, more in real heat, and do it deeply and regularly rather than in little daily sips. And then help it hold that moisture by laying down a good few inches of mulch over the root zone, keeping it back a bit from the main stems. Mulch keeps the roots cool and damp and steady, which is exactly what a hydrangea wants. And it means you are not out there with the hose every single evening. Reason number 6, it is simply too young. This one is the easiest of all because the fix is nothing but patience. If you planted your hydrangea fairly recently, in the last year or 2 or 3, and it has not bloomed much or at all, it may be doing exactly what it is supposed to do. A young, newly planted hydrangea often spends its first few years putting all of its energy underground, building a strong root system before it feels established enough to put on a real flower show. It can take 2, 3, sometimes even up to 5 years for a young shrub to hit its stride and bloom the way you were hoping. So if your plant is young, healthy, and growing well, the honest answer may simply be that it is not ready yet, and there is nothing to fix. Keep giving it the right light, the right feed, and steady water, be patient with it, and let it grow up. The flowers are coming. Reason number 7, something is eating the buds. The last reason is one people rarely think of, and it can be maddening because the plant itself is doing everything right. Deer and rabbits love hydrangeas. And in late winter and early spring, when not much else is green and tender, they will come along and nibble off the very tips of the stems, which on an old wood hydrangea is exactly where the flower buds are waiting. The plant leaves out fine lower down, but the blooms are gone, eaten, before they ever had a chance. If you have deer or rabbits around, and you find your buds vanishing, that may be your answer. A repellent spray through the vulnerable months, a bit of fencing or netting around a prized plant over winter, or choosing a spot closer to the house where the deer are more nervous to go, can all make the difference between a nibbled plant and one full of flowers. Now, before I show you how to double your blooms, let me clear up that myth I promised you, because it wastes people's money every single year. You have probably heard that the secret to hydrangeas is all about the soil, adjusting the pH, making it acidic, and that this is how you get flowers. Let me set the record straight. The pH of your soil changes the color of the flowers on some hydrangeas, turning the blue ones bluer in acid soil and pinker in alkaline soil. That is all it does. It changes the color, not the count. Not whether you get flowers at all. It has almost nothing to do with whether your plant blooms at all. So if you have been pouring soil acidifier around a plant that is not flowering, hoping that is the fix, please stop. You have been solving a color problem when what you have is a light problem, or a feeding problem, or a pruning problem. Color and blooming are two completely different things, and knowing that will save you a lot of wasted effort. Alright, here's the part you have been waiting for. Not just how to get your hydrangea to bloom, but how to get twice the flowers you have ever had. And it comes down to 2 moves. The first move is to fix the real reason from everything we just went through, honestly and completely. Get it into morning sun. Switch it off the nitrogen and onto a bloom food. And above all, stop pruning it at the wrong time, or stop pruning it at all if you are not sure. For a great many of you, just those changes will take a plant that gave you a handful of blooms and turn it into one that is covered in them. That alone can double what you were getting. The second move is the one that changes everything for the long haul, especially if you garden somewhere cold. Plant the varieties that are built to bloom no matter what. There is a whole class of newer hydrangeas that bloom on new wood, or that rebloom on both old and new wood, and these are nearly foolproof. The reblooming kinds, the ones bred to flower on both old and new growth, will give you flowers even if a hard winter kills some of their old wood buds, because they just make new ones and bloom again. The panicle types, those big cone-shaped bloomers, and the smooth white types are tough, reliable, and bloom every single year on new growth, so cold winters and pruning mistakes cannot rob you the way they do with the old-fashioned types. If you have fought with a stubborn old mophead for years and lost, adding 1 or 2 of these dependable rebloomers to your garden is the single surest way to have hydrangea flowers, in armfuls every year without fail. And there is one more small trick that stacks right on top of all this, especially with those reblooming kinds. Deadhead them. When a bloom fades and goes tired and papery, snip it off, cutting back to the first healthy set of leaves below it. On a reblooming variety, that little cut tells the plant to go again, to push out a fresh flush of flowers instead of pouring its energy into old, spent blooms. So you get a first wave in early summer and then a second wave later on off the very same plant. That is quite literally twice the blooms from one shrub in one season. And do not be shy about cutting them for the house either. Hydrangeas are one of the great cut flowers. A few big blooms fill a whole vase, and cutting a stem here and there does the plant no harm at all. Cut in the cool of the morning, choose blooms that have been open for a while rather than brand new ones, and they will last beautifully indoors. The garden gives, and it keeps on giving. So there it is. Every reason your hydrangea will not bloom, and exactly how to turn it around. Too much shade, too much nitrogen, the wrong pruning at the wrong time, winter and frost stealing the buds, drought stress, a plant that is simply too young, and hungry deer and rabbits. Walk your own plant through that list, honestly, and I promise you will find your answer somewhere in it. Fix that one thing, feed it right, water it deep, keep the shears down unless you are sure, and add a reliable reblooming variety or two, and you will go from staring at a leafy green disappointment to cutting armfuls of flowers for the kitchen table all summer long. Tell me down in the comments which of these reasons you think has been holding your hydrangea back, and do not forget to leave your zone. I read everyone, and I will help where I can, and if you know someone who has been fighting a hydrangea that just will not flower, someone who has almost given up on it, send them this video. You might be the reason their garden is full of blooms next summer. Now go take an honest look at that plant of yours. The answer is out there waiting, and so are the flowers.